I had put out a blog post about what's the real point of school. And it's not to learn the Pythagorean theorem and parallelograms and things like that. It's a playground. It's the only safe, relatively low stakes arena where people can practice these skills, because once you're in the workforce, like no boss is going to be like, whoopsies, you messed up 9 times. That's okay. Let's just try again. Like you don't get 9 strikeouts sort of in
Hmm.
the real world. And so the writing and the literature and that approach to critical thinking and developing these skills, I think that's probably the best way to view this for students. Is like, this is your opportunity to practice thinking. Do you
Hmm.
ever explicitly tell students, we are going to read this story and we're going to analyze it through this lens in order to develop critical thinking because it's going to help you in this way?
Yeah, absolutely. When we look at cultural theory, just how the media and social norms of that time have influenced the characters, that can just be applied to the job market. Whenever I see a lot of openings at one university, I kind of think maybe the turnover is for a reason. Also, we used to work on cover letters in class, and I always tell them they tell you exactly what they want in the job posting. There's words like cultivate, assess, execute. So they're telling you the words that they want you to use back. And I have heard too that there's AI generators that are not letting certain resumes go through because they don't have the right words. So, I mean, it also comes in handy just for job interviews. You can look around the office of the person that you're being interviewed in and kind of understand what their passions are. I've done that during job interviews where I've just looked around. I'm like, okay, they go skiing and snowboarding a lot. They have a Bob Dylan poster. So then I just naturally work that into the conversation of how I love snowboarding. And I've seen Bob Dylan 3 times. And then it just goes from there. Because you have to understand your audience too. That's another part of critical thinking. And that's a part of the rhetorical situation is just who is the audience. And then you can kind of understand how you're being influenced because you understand what demographic you are.
I want to repeat something you said for the listeners because it was so important. You mentioned that a practical application of learning critical thinking skills is the ability to have a conversation
Yep.
in a high stakes situation, such as an interview. And again, this just points to the reality that not bypassing the actual writing process, which is a proxy for the thinking process. That is one of the only ways that you're going to develop this skill, because what's going to happen is you're going to be in a situation where you're having a conversation, you are at a board meeting, you are at an interview, you are in a high stakes conversation. And if you have not developed these critical thinking skills in the other arenas, school, the classroom, you're going to stand there with your mouth open. And you're going to miss a valuable opportunity to read the audience, to know, okay, how can I critically examine this conversation as it's happening in real time and participate in a way that I get the outcome that I'm looking for?